Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers. I'm your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin and Josh.
And today, or at least the day that this will be releasing, is Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Josh.
Happy Thanksgiving, Corwin. What are you going to have to eat today?
Food.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
What are you thankful for this year?
I'm thankful for all our wonderful listeners, each and every one of you.
I'm thankful for the 300 miles between us on a regular basis.
I'll get ready because it's getting cut down to very few.
We say this as we are 6 inches from each other.
Usually we're separated by a lot less.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, usually the 6 inches is internal.
I hope you're listening to this, Bob.
Anyway, so since this is we're getting released on Thanksgiving, we thought we'd make this a special Thanksgiving edition of Juicing the Numbers. What would be a good theme-like name for the show for this one?
Jehovah's
Juicing.
Witnesses not welcome.
Juicing the
stuffing.
Juicing the stuff. Stuffing the numbers.
That genuinely makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's not quite as disgusting and off-putting as
No, juicing the stuffing sounds criminal. Juicing the stuffing sounds like someone got arrested for.
That's like a sex act that you only hear about in prisons.
I heard he gave him a dirty Sanchez and then juiced the stuffing. Anyway, shall we get into it?
Yeah, I don't know what we're getting into today, so.
Well, I thought we could start with something a little bit relevant to, well, all of it's going to be relevant to the holiday, but something a little bit more on the nose. NFL team performance on Thanksgiving.
Ooh, I really don't know the answer to this, but I really hope the Cowboys suck on Thanksgiving.
They
at least
do
lately.
not.
Yeah.
They are good.
Yeah.
Of all the teams that have played like more than, let's say, 20 games, they have the best record by a lot. Yeah, it's not even close. Who would you guess, Corwin, has the most wins on Thanksgiving? And your hint is it's not the Cowboys.
I'd say the Bears.
It is not the Bears.
All right, then
They
is
have
it?
third most.
Can I get a second guess?
Sure.
Is it the Packers?
It's not the Packers. They have the fourth most.
It can't be the Lions.
It's the Lions.
No, I refuse to accept that as the truth.
So get this. All right, so Packers, 14, 20, and 2 on Thanksgiving.
Yikes.
Good for a 417 win percent. The Bears, 18, 15, and 2 for a 543 win percent. All right, so the thing that last win number was 18. The Cowboys are 31, 19, and 1 for a 618 win percent on Thanksgiving. The Lions are 37, 40, and 2 for a 481 win percent.
Now we're making sense here.
So the top 4 win percents. Actually, I'll read the top 5 win percents for teams with the most wins and appearances, as that becomes a qualifier. So Lions 41, Cowboys 618, Bears 543, Packers 417, and the Giants with their 7 wins 567. So playing on Thanksgiving, kind of a mixed bag. Although I guess you could say that about playing an NFL game.
I don't even know who's playing this year. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I actually don't know either.
I'm looking it up right now.
Go right ahead. Who do you think has the fewest wins?
Well,
there's one. I'll start with this. There's one team that has never played on Thanksgiving. Only one. Do you know what team that is?
I'm gonna say Jacksonville.
It is Jacksonville.
Wow,
Only active franchise.
I got a guess right.
Yeah,
Nice.
Only active franchise to have never played on Thanksgiving. There are 4 teams that have only done it once. The Panthers, and they won. The Texans, they won. The Bengals have only... The Bengals. How long have the Bengals been around for? 50-something years? Longer?
Amount, yeah.
They played one Thanksgiving game in 2010.
Yeah, because they fucking suck and nobody wants to watch them.
I mean, I know that, but it just still seems odd. And the Bucks played one and they lost. Oh, the Bengals lost theirs too, but that's not surprising.
Let's see, when were the Bengals established? Let's look it up real quick right here. They were established 1967, 52 years ago. You are right on the nose, Mr. Josh.
I'm always approximately right. The best kind of right. I'm always mostly right.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Thank you, Mr. What was that guy's name?
I have no idea. I've never seen the show. I just know that GIF.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
So Thanksgiving 2019, we have the Bears at the Lions at 12:30. We have the Bills at the Cowboys at 4:30, and then Saints at the Falcons at 8:20.
Okay, Bears-Lions will be interesting. The Lions win for the next 3 years straight. They even the record. It's just not going to happen. They're so bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
Although the Bears do also suck. All right, so wait, hold on. What's more surprising? That the Lions have played on Thanksgiving 79 times? Or that the Bears and Packers have only played on Thanksgiving about 40 times. Like, the Lions have doubled the appearances on Thanksgiving than the Bears and Packers.
Well, I can't tell you the last time the Lions didn't play on Thanksgiving, so I think it's the Bears and Packers only about 40 times. Because honestly, like, the Lions are the team with the Cowboys that they play every year. I don't know if it's like a set thing that the NFL like goes. I'm sure they go out of their way to do that, but I don't know if it's a mandatory thing. But like, they're always playing.
Yeah, the Lions have 79 appearances. The Bears and Packers combine for 71.
Wow, I had to swallow that, but wow.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing because you feel like the Bears and Packers play every year on Thanksgiving too.
Oh yeah,
you know, and because especially nowadays, there's 3 games every year on Thanksgiving,
which I'm all for.
Oh, 100%. It makes it so easy.
Yeah, anything that prevents me from having to talk to my family for 12 hours is, ideal.
Yeah, how about those elections, Uncle Jimmy?
Holy shit, football! Look.
Oh, did you see that pass? Did you see that catch? Please stop talking to me.
Oh, you're talking about kneeling during the anthem? Okay. I'll see you next year.
Yeah, that Colin Kaepernick sure has big hair.
It's funny because he's black, and I don't like those people.
But what? Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah, Uncle. I was about to say the name of one of my uncles, and then I decided not to.
I'm really glad I randomly defaulted to Jimmy because I do not have an Uncle Jimmy. We're just putting the whole family on blast here. Yeah, so that's something there. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. What do you think about? All right, so what team? What team with at least 10 appearances do you think has the worst record on Thanksgiving?
Oh man,
it sadly makes a lot of sense if I were to tell you offhand.
Is it the Browns?
It's not the Browns, and I'll get to the Browns in a second.
Oh boy.
Want to venture one more guess?
Is it the Jets?
It's not the Jets.
Okay.
The Jets actually. I'll get to the Jets in a second. It's the Cardinals.
Yeah.
6-15-2 for a 304 win percent on Thanksgiving. Their last appearance in 2008.
I thought you were saying 6-15 is like their win percentage. I was like, Josh, that's really good. What are you talking about?
Nope.
Oh no, that is really bad. That is really bad.
The Jets, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tied for 12th in most wins in Thanksgiving history.
Wow, I would not expect that.
Tied with the Broncos, although they have a much better record than the Broncos. Broncos 4-7, because 4 wins is you'll get tied for 12th most. Jets 4-4, good for a 500 record.
What are the Steelers?
Their last appearance? Butt fumble, 2012.
Oh, that was on
NFL,
Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
I forgot
the NFL saw that when they're like, ugh, not doing that again. The Steelers, where are you, Pittsburgh? 2-6-0 for a 250 win percent. Last appearance, 2016.
That's a real yikes.
That's a big old bag of yikes. All right, so the Browns.
Yes.
How many games do you think that the Cleveland Browns, one of the oldest teams in the NFL, have played on Thanksgiving?
12.
3.
What?
When do you think their last appearance was in the game?
1989.
Wow, you got it exactly right. That's
really
fucking weird. Yeah. 30 years. The Browns haven't been in the Thanksgiving game for 30 years.
Like, I get that they've been bad, and I'm sure they didn't want to put them in a Thanksgiving game because of that. But 30 years is such a long time for something that the NFL controls directly.
You want to know what's even crazy about that is they're not even the longest gap in appearances.
Who is?
The Rams.
Really?
The Rams haven't played a game on Thanksgiving. You ready? 1975.
What?
44 years.
What the fuck did they do to the NFL? Who was the fucking commissioner in 1975?
Probably Pete Rozelle still.
Yeah.
He was commissioner forever.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, ain't that some shit? So the Bills have the third largest gap at 1994, but you just said they're playing this year, so that squashes that gap. After that, those are the only three teams that haven't played on Thanksgiving this century.
Holy shit!
Because after the Bills, it's a tie between the Chiefs and the Bucks, who haven't played in it since 2006. So that's like a while ago. But like, there's a lot of teams. A couple of teams are guaranteed appearances every year. Like whatever, it happens. But the Rams. The thing is, the Rams are also good in the Thanksgiving games. They're 3-1-0 for 751%. 4 games, but whatever. 1975.
I wasn't alive.
Like, even if you rotate it out, like, only, like, 1 or 2 teams every year, because assume someone's going to play the Lions every year. Like, they still would have played at least once.
Yeah.
If you just cycled the other 31 teams against the Lions, the Rams still would have made an appearance in the last 44 years.
That's crazy. Like, if you had the Rams-Browns on Thanksgiving this year, that'd be a fairly good game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I get...
At least going into the season.
Well, the thing about like saying just blanketly like some of these teams are bad, and by the way, the Rams won a Super Bowl in the last 44 years and appeared in a second one, so they've been good during this stretch. But the other thing is like Jags Titans get a Thursday night game every single year. Those teams are awful most of the time, and the NFL still gives them a Thursday night game. Like, why not give? Like, there's no reason to not give shit teams a chance to play on Thanksgiving. 44 years. And then 30 years for the Browns. And those are, the Browns are a team like the Browns haven't played in the Super Bowl. The Browns haven't played in the Super Bowl ever. But the Browns haven't played on Thanksgiving since before they moved to Baltimore. Technically that's the Ravens.
Yeah. I hate that that's like people just accept that the Browns don't have that history anymore.
Yeah.
Oh God. Or like, no, they link the old Browns with the new Browns, even though that's a completely different franchise from the bottom up.
The Cleveland Browns, back before the NFL was formed, when they played in the AAFC, did have a 3-0 record. As a side note. But yeah, they... It's just fucking weird, man.
So will the Browns ever be good?
Oh,
that's a loaded question.
Much deeper question. It's a much deeper question. Probably not. We should just accept that and move on. Do you think if the Browns and the Patriots swapped owners, nothing else, just owners, that the Browns would get better?
Yes. I think they'd have to. I feel like there's just... Haslam is just such a bad owner that any improvement would make that team better. Maybe not right away, of course, but over time, give it like a good 5, 6, 7 years, and they'd be a successful franchise through and through.
If you could put one... Ooh, hold on, I'm really loud. If you could put one celebrity in charge of owning the Browns who you think would do actually like a reasonable job, who would you put there?
A celebrity?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Funnily enough, I think like Bill Gates would do things right for the Browns.
Well, hey, we already saw one Microsoft co-founder do pretty well with Seattle.
I was going to go with Steve Ballmer because like he has that history, but he's already in sports, so I don't know if he would have counted in our completely made-up hypothetical.
Give me Waz.
Steve wasn't.
Put Waz in charge of the Browns, and they'll be good, but he'll never get credit for it.
Honestly.
Deep cut.
Man, that makes me sad. I'm a Steve Wozniak truther.
And then Jobs will just resurrect from the grave and sell a shiny new Browns object, and everyone will forget that Woz actually developed the Browns.
Honestly, like, could you think of a better football analogy of John Gruden is the Steve Jobs of the NFL?
Oh, because compared to Mike Mayock?
Just compared to, like, anything. He is so flashy, all talk. He knows some things, but he's not like this genius like other coaches are in that X's and O's.
Coaching-wise, that's tough. Ownership-wise, it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Coaching-wise, could you say Sean McVay at this point? Like, he was definitely
no,
right
because Sean
on.
McVay is like genuinely and like super smart. Like, he is the genius. He is the Woz.
Is he the genius though? That Rams offense looks disgusting, and not in the way we usually use it. Which
yeah, you make a good point. I'm just looking back on the past with those rose-colored glasses at this point. I have to, like, just watching them play football. It looks like Jared Goff is just, like, the worst player ever, and Todd Gurley just isn't the same and all this. But, like, when all those things come together, the one denominator is the fact that Sean McVay is there, so who fucking knows?
Yeah, man, people jumped on that coaching tree, too.
I've never seen anything like that.
No.
Where, like, people were selling their souls to the devil to get friends of Sean McVay to coach their team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like... It's like when the White Sox started signing all of Manny Machado's siblings and relatives to try to get him to come over to the White Sox, and then he didn't. It didn't work out well for them, did it?
Wait, where does Manny Machado play?
San Diego.
Is that different from Chicago?
They're like the same. Chicago has more beaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Chicago, the coastal city.
Baseball.
Sneaking in the baseball. So I also have some since this is our stats episode, figured I'd throw a few Thanksgiving stats in there for you, Corwin.
Okay.
Let's see, what's a good place to start? Oh, that's a website I didn't look at before this.
Is it Pornhub?
Oh, well, I've looked at that plenty before this. Let's start with 42.5 million turkeys got produced in 2018. I have all my numbers are 2018 numbers because I couldn't find 2019 numbers.
Probably because they haven't been released yet.
42.5 million turkeys produced this in 2018 just in one state.
What?
State with many, many football teams.
California? Texas?
Minnesota.
What?
Minnesota, the largest turkey-producing state out of a total 240 million turkeys that get raised in the United States.
That's fucking insane.
That's almost. That's like 0.8 turkey per person.
Minnesota, go for it, man. You guys are no longer the Golden Gophers. You're the Golden Turkeys.
All right. What do you think Minnesota has more of, turkeys or people?
Turkeys. Definitely. Most definitely turkeys.
I'm looking it up. Minnesota.
There's no way it's not turkeys.
Yo, Minnesota only has 5.611 million people in 2018.
That's not a lot of people.
That's so not a lot. That's
how many turkeys did they make? 240 million?
No, they made 42.5
okay.
out of
the 240.
Yeah. That's not a lot of people.
No, and that's a whole fucking lot of turkeys.
Yo, that's like 8.5 turkeys per person. That's like the turkeys could control Minnesota. Why isn't any of Minnesota's logos a turkey now? There's
I don't
so
fucking
many
know. Because how many Gophers are in Minnesota? Look that up.
Not enough.
How many Vikings are in the state of Minnesota? That's the real question.
Like 3 or 4. What am I supposed to even look up? Minnesota gopher population?
Yeah, number of Gophers in Minnesota.
I'm sad to report that I have spelled gopher with an F. And that was not the right way of spelling it.
Number of Gophers in Minnesota. Minnesota Golden Gophers.
I saw an enrollment of 34,000, and I was like, what are the Gophers enrolling? Yeah, I'm just finding a lot of Golden Gopher stuff. I don't see anything on that.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
The dream is dead.
Oh, this is the most specific one I've ever seen.
Ooh, I like those.
There are 17 ridges on a 14-ounce can of Ocean Spray gelid cranberry sauce. That is some deep, like, baseball savant. No one asked for this stat for Thanksgiving.
That is some like Darren Ravel 10:30 in the morning on Thanksgiving Day as everyone's like watching the parade and getting ready. It's like, how many how many ridges are on a can of cranberry sauce? Oh, thanks, Darren.
That's like Jeremy Frank, like, high on Adderall, 2 a.m. before exams, looking at, like, baseball player stats from, like, 1905.
Did you see him start a fight with John Boy yesterday?
I did. We tweeted about it. I say we, but it was really me.
Yeah.
Yes, I do most of our Twitter. Yeah.
What'd you say? Because I didn't see the tweet.
Oh, I was really passive aggressive.
Oh, good. I love Jeremy Frank and I love John Boy, but if you're gonna make me pick between the two, it's gonna be John Boy.
But let me ask you this, because we can talk about the little spat. Because John Boy in a thread said that it's tough to evaluate player defense because it's not a great. There's no one great way of doing it, and therefore baseball defense stats are flawed, and we don't fully have a great one that's being used. And I'm not sure if he said it or not, but just to extrapolate on it, it makes it even tougher to go back in time and look at baseball player defense from, like, you can, like, look at what, like, Babe Ruth's player defense was in, like, the 1920s. Like, he has, like, a D-WAR on Baseball Reference. So what do you I think
I agree with John Boy.
I was gonna say, I think we've heard my opinion on this before because I'm not a big baseball defense stats person, but so you don't care for them either much?
I will use them because, that's what we have to use. But by all means, they are completely flawed, like John Boy said. And I think Jeremy Frank kind of went off a little hard on him.
Yeah. Oh, well, Jeremy Frank definitely did, and also did not have the guts to at him like a normal person would.
Oh, did he really not?
That's what my tweet was about, because he did not at him at all, and it's like, yo, you fucking pussy ass bitch. But yeah, it's like defense, like you're saying, like I'll use defensive stats every now and then when it's absolutely necessary, but at the same time, it's like it just seems like there's no good way of doing it.
Yeah,
because,
I'm with you.
Like, all right, so errors are obviously bad, but, like, does errors mean that the player is bad, or does it mean, like, Matt Chapman always has a bunch of errors because he attempts plays that most people wouldn't do because he has a really high, like, range factor. So errors would count against his defense, but his defense is very good. He just tries harder, or is able to do more, which allows him to try harder than, like, your average third baseman would. So, like, what do you want to factor into it? Like, is a third baseman's arm, can that make up for a slight lack of range? Because can you get more outs based on a third baseman throwing, I don't know how fast they throw, 85 miles an hour instead of 80? Like, I don't know how fast they throw. Like, and what are we calling range? Is that going to depend on the shift? Is it not? DRS just got updated this year, I think, to accommodate for the shift, or within the last few years to accommodate for the shift. And, like, a lot of players, DRS changed a ton. Like, Freddie Galvis went from being a -7 DRS to a +4 based on one different calculation.
Which is what they were talking about, like Freddie Galvis specifically.
Yeah. So it's tough. Doesn't seem like there's a great way of doing it. Because, like, Gio Urshela, who is the third baseman for the Yankees this past season.
Who's that guy? I never heard of him.
Most people haven't. He's you got to really know your baseball to know who Gio Urshela is. Like, I'm just going to use him because I saw him play, and he fits into this example. His defense last year was phenomenal. I mean, especially coming off of having to watch Miguel Andujar for a whole season. His defense was really, really something. And yet he got pinged a lot by DRS. I'm trying to pull it up right now. His DRS in 2019, Yankees outfield? What? I'm very certain Gio Urshela did not play outfield. I'm actually very comfortable with that. Oh, there it is. -4. But, like, he started more double plays than Miguel Andujar did in like the first 6 months, as compared, or the first I forget how many months. Doesn't matter. Then Andujar did this entire season. Like he outmatched his production by a fucking country mile, and he was all over most.
Is that different from a city mile?
I think so. I think a city mile is like a block. So it feels like evaluating player defense in baseball is like evaluating almost anything in football, where it's like the numbers can help you, but the eye test is still better.
So much more effective at just like it's hard to have an eye test be the main source of how you judge a player, but there's no definitive numbers like a pitcher versus a batter in baseball. Like there's a reason why those stats work so well for that, and it just doesn't work that well in baseball.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, yeah, because the offensive stats it doesn't matter. Batting average is still batting average. You know, like we have that forever. We have that going back throughout all of time and history. But the defense shit, I think it'll get a lot better with StatCast. Like
100%.
Yeah, like if you tell me anything going from like 2015 on, since that's I think that's the year StatCast got officially implemented, then like I'm more inclined to be with it. But anything before that, I just don't fucking care.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy using DRS. I like looking at defensive run saves, and it's a good thing to use to compare players. But in the context of the John Boy argument, yes, they're not concrete. They're not telling yet. They're still being tweaked often. You can't use it as a definitive thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny how butthurt Jeremy Frank seems in all this.
He got butthurt over the Astros thing too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what's going on with him right now.
I don't know. I think maybe he's just stressed. He just started college.
Yeah, it really is tough being 18.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
To be fair though, he's 18 and taking like Calc 3, so that's not great.
But I think that's one of his problems is being really good at numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's ruining the fact that there's other parts to the game.
Yeah.
And we see that shit with football all the time.
No, Warren Sharp. I love Warren Sharp, but man, he is preachy with those numbers sometimes.
God, it's like legislating all the fun out of shit.
Yeah.
Man,
he is definitely no fun football. Look, I love Warren Sharp. He puts out great information. I love his opinion on jumbo formations, but goddamn, there are times where he is just no fun football.
I would not talk to him about football at a party if I met him.
Not at all. Of course, if I saw him at the party, that's like the first thing I would do. But I think very quickly I would realize, this was a major mistake.
I go, Warren Sharp, hey, how you doing, man? So what do you think about the Astros shit, huh? Yeah. Did you watch that Columbus Blue Jackets game the other night?
What are these teams you're speaking of? Are there other sports?
Which college is that?
Oh, fuck.
So the average number of calories consumed on Thanksgiving.
Non sequitur, okay.
No, technically the baseball stuff was the non sequitur.
Yeah, fair enough.
Between 3,000 and 4,500 calories are going to be consumed per person on Thanksgiving.
Bet.
That's like 2 entire days worth of food.
Oh, that's normal for me.
Well, you were a giant man.
I actually had to do this for a class this semester. If I was supposed to be eating 2,000 calories a day, I would be very fat by now, because I do not.
How many calories do you eat per day?
I eat like 3,500 a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably around 3,000, but I think I should also probably be around 2,500.
I think what balances it out is there'll be days where I eat 1,000 just because I forget to eat or just don't have time to eat, and I don't notice it, so I don't go out of my way to get food, and those are bad days for Corwin's health.
See, my problem is I never forget to eat. I need to have days where I forget to eat. But I've got Chinese food sitting at home right now that I'm going to eat the second I get home.
Nice.
It's gonna be like, oh yeah. I could get home at 11 o'clock. I could get home at 12. I could get home at 1 o'clock in the morning tonight, and the first thing I do when I get home will still be to eat that Chinese food.
I mean, I'm on a college schedule, so that none of that is out of the ordinary for me.
Yeah, but I'm on a working man schedule. That shit would suck.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not on board with the whole living thing and having to like eat and sleep regularly. It's just so inconvenient.
How long do you think it takes the average male to burn off 4,500 calories?
Like.
Now, this is actually interesting because it doesn't supply any caveats, like if exercising, or like weightlifting versus cardio.
Just like how long it takes for a body to burn 4,500 calories.
Working out, because in the infographic I'm looking at, there's a little man on a treadmill.
Well, all right. Using that little man on the treadmill clip art, I'm gonna assume
totally clip art too.
Based off of running on a treadmill, I don't know, probably like 6 hours.
10 hours and 33 minutes.
Wow, my math is bad. Actually, I don't run on a treadmill, so like fucking, I'm just guessing.
All right, now this one I'm actually interested in hearing your opinion on, as well as what you think this number is.
Juicy.
What percent? Juicy. What percent of Americans do you think eat their Thanksgiving meal, at a restaurant?
Oh God, this better be low.
It is relatively low.
I'm gonna say 12%.
9%.
Okay. Whew. If it was any higher than 15, I would be concerned with where the state of the United States is. Us, like, even with all the other like political shit going on and whatever, this would have been the defining factor of, okay, our country's fucked.
Now I think you have to build in a certain number or a certain percent of it as like, oh, like the house burned down this morning with all of our food inside. We locked the keys in the house. We're stranded on the side of a road, and the only thing nearby is a Denny's.
Or, we put the turkey out on the table, and then a pack of dogs that the neighbor owns runs in and eats the whole thing while I'm practicing with my BB gun out in the backyard.
Yeah, like a Goldilocks situation happens with bears break. Well, not it's a person breaking into the bear's house, but let's reverse
Goldilocks situation. Is that a porn? Is that a sex move? Reverse Goldilocks.
Rule 34, man.
You say that, I'm going to be Googling this.
But
I'm going to turn on my VPN for that.
I'm going to turn on Norton Safe Search for this. Okay. Average cost of a 10-person Thanksgiving dinner. I've actually seen this number a few times, so I'm willing to believe that this number is correct.
How many people?
Average cost of a 10-person Thanksgiving dinner.
$200.
$48.90.
Total?
Yeah.
Where are you people buying food?
So that's one of the things that's interesting about this number, because I want to see if I can find the second number that I had pulled up. Yeah, so I have the same exact number from CNBC, but Americans will spend an average of $334 anyway. Corwin's making some faces here.
I looked up Rule 34 for Goldilocks.
Oh no, it can't be good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was bad. We'll post show notes. No, we won't.
We will absolutely not be posting show notes with this.
So anyway, basically what this is saying is like you could, all right, so that $48.90 figure, if you, that's accounting for turkey and stuffing, rolls, sweet potatoes, green peas, fresh cranberries, carrot and veggie tray, pumpkin pie with whipped cream, milk, and coffee. You can get all of those things together for $48.90.
I don't know where you could get a turkey itself for $48.
We actually get our turkey for free every year.
Really?
Yeah, ShopRite.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
They,
no,
we do
track
that too.
Of your they keep track of like if you have like a card, they keep track of how much you spend with them, and then come holiday season, they like just give you a free turkey depending.
Yeah, because we usually have that on like Friday night after Thanksgiving, because we don't host Thanksgiving, so we just save it for the next day.
Oh, we actually get 2, and we just donate the second one because we're like good people. But yeah. Yo, fuck the Heller family. But anyway, what basically what saying is like, you could get all of these things to have like a decent Thanksgiving dinner for $48.90. But what you piece of shit are gonna do is you're gonna go to your local grocery store and you're gonna spend $334 on some bullshit no one's gonna eat, and then regret it later.
Yeah, of course.
Which is interesting, isn't it?
Honestly, if you had to pick, like, there were 3 items you could have at Thanksgiving, what would they be?
Does gravy count as an item?
Yes.
Fuck. Damn it. Can we not? Gonna not count as an item? All right, fine. It makes it too hard. Turkey, stuffing, and biscuits, and gravy. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to fight for biscuits, but it's turkey, biscuits, and mashed potatoes.
How do you not have biscuits?
I eat at least 6 of them every Thanksgiving.
Oh my God! I stop myself because I feel bad about how many I eat.
I don't, because I've made it clear over the past 22 years that I am there for the biscuits. And all of my aunts and uncles who cook for Thanksgiving are highly aware of that.
Oh yeah.
I choose my seat at the table based off of relative location to the basket of biscuits. That's not a joke. I genuinely pick my seat on whatever's closest.
Especially if you're like me and you like to go way too hard on the gravy so you can really slosh it around during your meal. Like, get that turkey all up in that bitch. Get it on the mashed potatoes. Then at the end, you just got this plate covered in like, grease and gravy drippings. And
you just shove your dick in it.
After you do that, and you get that fucking biscuit up in that bitch and you sop it up. It's
Not going to lie, my wild Thanksgiving opinion is that I don't care for gravy.
It took me a while.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, super picky eater, so yeah. I just honestly, I've tried it like a handful of times, like 2 or 3 times, and just I don't think it adds to the meal as much as I think it's worth it.
Depends on how your family does it. I think I've definitely had some subpar gravies in my life.
Yeah, I don't know the difference. So,
how much do you think the world's most expensive Thanksgiving dinner is?
It's going to be something fucking ridiculous in like the tens of thousands of dollars.
$150,000.
Fuck you.
From New York City's Old Homestead Steakhouse.
What? Please tell me what it is.
Let's talk and Google it. I actually didn't even consider that. NYC Old, what did I say? Old Country Steakhouse?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Old Homestead. Fuck you, Corwin.
You think I listened to you?
Homestead Steakhouse. Thanksgiving dinner. All right, let's see what we got here. Photos. Old Homestead has most. Well, here's what you get for $100,000. So, Corwin, first off, here's a picture.
Sweet Jesus. That is a lot of meat.
That is a lot of meat. All right, so let's see if we can get a breakdown of what's in this here.
Holy shit. Like, there are steaks the size of small children.
This isn't just a meal. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for someone who's celebrating, but there's a catch. I don't really give a shit. Dinner feeds 12? It looks like it feeds 500.
Yeah, no shit. There are 12 individual steaks there. I don't know how you are supposed to eat that on top of a turkey.
Turkey is free-range, organically raised, and costs $135 per pound.
Does that turkey cure cancer?
It's seasoned with spices like saffron from the Middle East and basted with $35 an ounce extra virgin olive oil from Italy. It's also covered in edible gold flakes.
Yo, I will die on the hill of fuck anyone who puts gold flakes in food. It's not edible. It doesn't taste like anything. Well, you're only adding it on there to increase the cost.
Oh,
fuck you.
Jeffrey, you actually have your gold in the bank. I ate mine for breakfast.
Do you need a little cash, Jeffrey? All right, go pull it out of the toilet. I didn't flush yet.
Bread and pork stuffing is made with sourdough bread from the UK that costs $75 a loaf. As well as a $475 per pound pork from Japan and $2,500 per pound white truffles and $700 per pound black truffles.
Did they change what bread is? It's just water, flour, and yeast, correct?
And the gravy is infused with special reserve Pappy Van Winkle bourbon priced at $3,300 a bottle.
Fuck you.
Could you imagine buying bourbon for $3,300 and going, you know what I'm going to put this on? Gravy. You know what this bourbon's going to be used for? Gravy.
The only thing that makes sense in there is the truffles because you just have to you can't grow it. You just have to find it.
Yep.
So that makes sense. Everything else, fuck you. Whiskey, I get because you have to keep it forever, but even then, $3,300 a glass.
I know this isn't interesting to like anybody else, but I have to keep reading this because it's just insane.
If you stopped reading this, I would have been insulted.
The candied sweet potatoes are cooked using $26 per pound cinnamon from Sri Lanka and $150 an ounce Cheshire butter from France. Potatoes are whipped using $325 per pound white cheddar cheese from the UK.
I'm convinced.
Cheddar cheese that costs $325 per pound.
I'm convinced that I could shit in a box, call it an exfoliating face wash, and say that it's from Madagascar, and people would buy it for $100.
There's just more, and I never want this to end. Cranberry sauce is concocted using strawberries from Japan, Mexico, and Canada, and infused with a $1,750 bottle of French wine. Again, can you imagine spending $1,700 on wine to just put on some fruit? Butternut squash topped with $1,600 per ounce Caspian Sea caviar and Brussels sprouts in a glaze infused with an $1,800 bottle of Grand Marnier.
Josh, I need you to hear me out on this.
Yes.
Is there any way the person who was writing up this, like, what this would be wasn't jerking off, smelling the scent of their own farts?
You know what? You know what I still can't get past as I'm looking at these pictures and reading all this? This is only for 12 people.
Yeah, fuck you.
I mean, this is like a 20-person meal at least. There's a seared beef salad featuring hard-to-find $550 per pound Japanese Wagyu beef.
And you know the people that are going to be buying this aren't like the 350-pound Iowa farm boys who like could eat all this food. It's the pompous, like high society New Yorkers who are going to have like 6 bites and then just say, "Fuck it, I don't want it
honestly,
anymore."
I say this even transcends them. I say this is probably like people who moved here from, I don't want to say foreigners because it sounds so tacky, but people who like emigrated here with just insane money from wherever they're from who want to have like a quote unquote Thanksgiving dinner, but like they also want to be as bougie as fuck about it and they're just going to spend their money.
This is a Frank Gore meal.
No, this is like my daddy is in OPEC. Like, no, straight up though.
No,
because you think about
I'm
it, like,
100% agreeing with you.
Yeah, because like think about like the crazy rich dudes who live in New York. They probably still going to be like, all right, let's go to grandma's. You know what I mean? Like they still have like their boobies and shit. Like, but
like I'm sure some people listening will be like, that's stereotyping. That's racist. That's all this. This is like my major, like the OPEC guys. I've met a lot of them. This is 100% up their alley.
Oh, absolutely. Especially since this restaurant's open for Thanksgiving, and that's what they would want to do.
Yeah.
Also on the menu, $100 per piece imported king oysters.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Isn't an oyster just like picking your fucking nose and eating a booger?
From what I've heard, yeah. I've heard you're also not supposed to chew it. You're supposed to swallow.
I've heard that about some other things, but not food.
I say this as someone who does not eat oysters. Go Jews.
I'm saying that as someone who does not eat oysters. Go normal people.
The crucial component of the dinner's high cost, though, comes from the $75,000 2018 Maserati Levante that's included.
What? You get a car?
Yes. If you buy this meal, you get a $75,000 vehicle.
How much does this cost in all?
The keys are hidden inside the stuffing.
Yes. Okay, this is worth it. I take back every negative thing I've said about this. Could you imagine
sitting down for dinner and someone put your brand new Maserati key fob in the stuffing?
This is the world's greatest king cake. I love.
I'm convinced this is a fetish. This isn't food. This is a fetish.
Are you familiar with like what a king cake is?
Explain to me more, sir.
It's just a cake with a fucking toy baked into it, and the winner gets like to put the first ornament on the tree. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to church, but like, how much is this in all?
$150,000.
So you're paying.
So what's crazy is like, yeah. So half of that is the car. The other thing, there's, oh my god, there's a little bit more. Shall I read the conclusion of this?
Please do.
In addition to the expensive Thanksgiving dinner, it also includes a number of luxurious experiences, which includes a $15,000 shopping spree, Billy Joel concert tickets to ABC's Dancing with the Stars, tickets to the viewing stand of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, a $260 horse-drawn carriage ride through Central Park, a ride around the city in a Rolls-Royce, a weekend getaway at the Poconos, a guided tour of New York City landmarks, dance lessons at the Fred Astaire Dance Studio, and, of course, turkey carving lessons.
So this is if you really want to bang Paris Hilton and you just want to take her out on the bougiest fucking date you can.
All right, so let me put it this way, though. Let's say you got a really sweet raise, okay?
Yeah.
Like, really sweet job, really sweet raise, and you're like, you want to buy that Maserati.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's $75,000, and you have $100,000, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, I can buy, I have $25,000 left over. Now, do you buy the car and do with the $25,000 whatever the fuck you would do with it otherwise? Or do you go, well, look at what I can get for just $50,000 more. Let's go just fuck around and have the most expensive meal of all time, eat some gold flakes, and snag some tickets to Billy Joel in the meantime.
No, because I have a control over my finances, and there's no way any of the other things involved with this is worth... Like, I wouldn't spend my money on any of the other things involved with this, so I'm not going to spend my money on all of those things involved with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, there's still no way I would ever purchase this. Fuck you.
I know. It's impressive.
I want to be friends with the people that order this, but I don't want to order this.
I really need to see where in New York this is. I'm dying.
On Thanksgiving, can we just go take a train to New York just to sit outside this restaurant and watch people eat this?
Oh, that makes so much sense. So it's in Chelsea. Yeah, which if you know anything about New York, you know Chelsea sucks. It's full of the bougiest fucking place. Hilariously, and this might not be hilarious to anybody but me, it's also down the block from the Ground Zero Museum Workshop. So if you really wanted to have yourself a tragic day, you could go chop $150,000 and then go feel sad.
If you really want to have yourself a day, you could drive the Maserati into the World Trade Center thing.
Yeah, that would be.
Is it? Has enough time passed for those kind of jokes?
Eventually. Why not? But that was a huge non sequitur. But oh my god, I can't believe this is real.
It's so worth it, though. I would not have wanted to talk about anything else.
What's the baseball equivalent of this meal?
Jacoby Ellsbury contract.
No, because you don't actually get anything from that. Like, for this meal, you at least get, like, a car. Like, so even if the meal sucks, you can be like, well, the turkey was dry, but the car drives fantastic.
Is it Bryce Harper?
No, because he's not great either.
Eric Hosmer.
No, he's not good either.
So it has to be good, but still super overpriced.
Yeah, because there's, like, a sneaky value in there. Like, it's really good, but there's also, like, a lot. You know what it is? It's Mike Trout. Because
this is not the best Thanksgiving meal ever.
No, but I'm just talking about money. Because you get Mike Trout for like $400 million, but he's still better than that contract.
Yeah.
And for this money, you get an overpriced meal, but it's probably still really good, and you get a car.
Yeah, but no, because the draw is, I don't know. I still think this meal is overpriced and Mike Trout is underpriced.
All right, so then it's tough because, like, what are you paying for with this meal? Are you paying for just the meal?
Crippling debt.
You're also paying for a status symbol, and you're paying for, what if I said that this meal was Albert Pujols? So you're getting something that is probably decently good.
Yeah.
You're getting surplus value in the car, and in Albert Pujols, you're getting surplus value in it's fun. and leadership, which actually is a thing. He's a great leader.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you probably were better off spending your money elsewhere.
See, that's why I'm standing strong with this is Bryce Harper, because Maserati, it's a good sports car. It's not, it's not a supercar.
Oh, you know what? I get this now.
And like you're getting the Bryce Harper, face of the franchise. You're getting the jersey sales. You're getting, you're drawing people into the stadium. But at the end of the day, if you're going to spend $350 million, spend it on Mike Trout.
What if they offer this as an incentive to players? All right, guys.
Come to the Yankees, and this is where you'll eat on Thanksgiving.
No, it's like a contract incentive. It's like, all right, guys, if you hit 35 home runs this year, you get a Thanksgiving dinner at NYC Old Homestead Steakhouse and a Maserati.
I could just see like Aaron Judge going into like Steinbrenner's office, like, can I just have the $150,000? No.
You gotta hit the homers. You gotta eat the turkey. Go for the gold, Aaron.
Is it bad that I cannot picture what any Steinbrenner looks like? I can only picture the back of Larry David's head.
No, that's not Larry David's head. It's an actor.
Right, but it's Larry David's voice and all that.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Man.
I can't wait to do this again for Festivus.
For the rest of us. As we air our grievances?
Oh, yes.
We don't decorate the pole.
The first thing I'm going to buy when I buy a house is a stainless or like a stainless steel. No, it's not stainless steel. It's an aluminum pole to just stick in the corner of my living room.
I just want to bang out a few more of these numbers I have here in front of us, and then we can just wrap it up. 65% of Americans would like an alternative to turkey on the table this year.
Why are 65% of Americans wrong?
Damn commies, my friend. Like, most wanted alternatives to turkey: ham, chicken, and roast beef.
Fuck that. Ham I can see.
Ham's actually a relatively common one, I would say.
I like ham. I could get behind it.
Chicken I could see if like it's a small family gathering and like you only need a chicken because turkeys, even a small turkey is like a pretty big bird.
Yeah, and turkey's much more expensive than chickens,
Or at least harder to come by, or not harder to come by, but more in demand at this point in the year. Roast beef's just fucking weird. You should go fuck yourself with this roast beef nonsense.
God.
Yeah, no, not about it. Although, at the same time, 70% of Americans say it's not a proper Thanksgiving meal without a turkey. So 10% of Americans fucking suck.
Fucking hypocritical assholes.
Pieces of shit.
10% of America doesn't want Thanksgiving anymore. Got it.
This is what I wanted. All right, America's favorite Thanksgiving dishes. Ready?
This is like a relationship make or break.
All right, 39% of people say their favorite dish is turkey.
Totally fair.
Okay, that's fine. It's the mainstay.
It's the heart and soul. It's the foundation of the meal.
23% say stuffing. Also,
totally get it. It's something you really only ever have for Thanksgiving. I'm behind it.
12% say pumpkin pie. 9% say mashed potatoes.
9% are correct.
6% say sweet potatoes. And 3% say cranberry sauce. And I want to find out what those 3% of people are like. Because now I'm not saying, look, I like cranberry sauce. Cranberry juice is one of my favorite things in the world. But if you went to Thanksgiving dinner and you look around at the plates and it's like, all right, this guy's got like a lot of turkey, this guy's got a lot of stuffing, this guy's all pie, and then one dude just had a mountain of the cranberry sauce, you go, is everything okay? Like, are you shitting wrong? Like what happened today, Jim? Like, are you good? And he just goes, no, it's my favorite. Like, he's eating it out the can with its 14 ridges and shit. Like, that's a weird thing to be your favorite thing.
See, like, I'm torn because, like, in all honesty, my favorite food is the biscuits. But I understand that I could just eat biscuits literally whenever the fuck I want. So I focus on the turkey, stuffing, and mashed potatoes, and then just use the biscuits as dessert. So I don't know I don't know how I would vote on this.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, here's a question for you: dry or wet stuffing?
Oh, wet.
Interesting. I'm 100% dry.
Yeah, it shows in your personality. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can tell just by looking at you, a dry stuffing kind of guy.
Wet's too wet. Dry still has a little bit of moisture there.
Wet's too wet.
Yep.
Wise words from Corwin Heller. Wet is too
Nobody wants soggy bread.
Oh, God, folks, I'm ready. All right. $12 is the average cost of a 16-pound whole frozen turkey. 552.
I feel like fucking Bill Gates because like these prices don't make sense to me.
You go to the store, you buy a bag of potatoes, which costs, I don't know, $10.
How much could a banana cost, Michael? $10.
You hand it to the concierge. Anyway, God, I love that show. So $12 per turkey, average cost. Over $552 million this year going to be spent on turkeys.
Damn.
That is 46 million turkeys. What's interesting is that on Thanksgiving turkeys, I was going to say because there were 240 million turkeys, but this is just on Thanksgiving. That's a fuck ton of turkeys.
I am so fucking hungry right now. You son of a bitch.
Hold on one second. I want to see one thing. 46. So that's that means that this isn't the greatest way of doing it, but if you assume that there's 320 approximately million people in the U.S. and 46 million turkeys, that means that
how many people are in the U.S. Did you say?
Approximately 320.
I think it's up to like 400 now.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the U.S.
Wow. All right, I'll put 380.
Because fuck my number.
Well, I'll just err on the side of it being lower. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna Google it.
Oh yeah, go right ahead. That means that the average Thanksgiving turkey having family will be 8.3 people.
I was so fucking wrong.
What is it?
It's like 327.
Oh, Josh is abruptly right again.
I am so fucking wrong.
But anyway, that means that the average turkey having family will have 7 people eating that turkey.
There you go.
Based on very
statistics.
Light math. Very, very light math.
Did you know California has more people in it than the country of Canada?
Yeah, and like 93% of Canada's population lives on the U.S. border.
Yeah, I think it's like 95% of the population lives within 10 miles of the border.
I mean, it's the place to be.
It's true. The U.S. is pretty awful right now.
All right, here is a good discussion point as well. 73% of U.S. adults agree that a fridge full of leftovers is the best thing about hosting Thanksgiving. Corwin, where do you stand on leftovers?
I like them, but I'm not about to host Thanksgiving just to get them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's nice. It's a good consolation, but I'm not gonna fuck up my house just to have people over and be able to eat leftovers the next day. You know what? Also, I could have next day.
What?
Chick-fil-A. Like, there are other things to be had.
Yeah, I also would just be like, hey, can I have this?
No, yeah, like, can I just take a plate home with me? Yeah, like, sure, we're family. We're at Thanksgiving.
Well, that definitely is. It's like 70% of the people who don't cook for Thanksgiving but have it at their house like having more food around to not cook for longer.
Who made up this fucking questionnaire? Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't even fucking know. I'm trying to see if there's anything else overly interesting here, and there's not too much. What year did the Thanksgiving football tradition begin?
1492.
When Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Yes.
Football in hand. Don't give me a real guess.
1973.
Oh, much earlier than that. The first NFL game was played on 1920.
I just didn't know if it was a tradition before then.
1876.
That is so significantly earlier than I thought it would be.
100 years.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you care to venture a guess, but what teams? Obviously, these are
what
not
teams
NFL teams
existed in 1876, 1872?
Well, think about what institutions played football in 1876.
College. So I'm going to go with like Princeton and Rutgers.
Close. Princeton and Yale.
My initial guess was Lehigh. I don't know why.
What's especially interesting about both these Princeton and Yale old logos is they both have Hebrew in them.
Weird.
Well,
they're not Jewish schools.
Well, I get it because all colleges when colleges first cropped up in the U.S., they were Bible schools.
Right.
Like Harvard was a Bible or like a priest's educational hut. So they all started off as like teaching Bible shit. But you would have figured at this point in time where like modern mathematics was being practiced, and like we had actual history to learn, and the Civil War.
We didn't own people anymore.
Yeah, like you would have thought that like they would go like, all right, let's change our logo out from this Hebrew, but I guess not, because they both have it. It's so weird to see like the Princeton black and orange, and then above it just a little Torah.
I don't even remember what is replacing that Hebrew text in the Princeton logo.
Oh, Detroit and Dallas have played on every single Thanksgiving since 1966.
Oh my God, it's still there. It's
really?
just like Roman. It's Roman letters instead of like it's the same book and everything. It's just they replaced the Hebrew with Roman
with Latin.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I think that actually is Latin on this one too. It's just a really fucking blurry image.
Oh yeah, no, that is the Arabic alphabet.
Yeah, that is Latin. Wow, from like how far back I was standing after looking at the Hebrew, that's definitely is on the Yale one. Yeah. Anyway.
Now I'm gonna look up the Yale logo. I don't know what oh no, here it is. It's still there.
Oh wow. Yeah, you don't see that on any of their sweaters.
It's not a normal logo, but like on multiple of these logos, there is the Hebrew lettering.
How many clowns?
What?
How many clowns do you think that there are in the Macy's parade?
I didn't know there were clowns in the
Honestly,
Macy's
neither
parade.
did I.
I'm going to guess 0 then.
1,
I'm assuming this is a trick question.
1,000 clowns.
Well, that is just cemented the fact that I will never go to that parade.
That's just far too many clowns.
That is an uncomfortable number of clowns.
I mean, like, all right, for real though, what's worse? You go to the Macy's Day Parade and there's 1,000 clowns, or you go to the Macy's Day Parade and there's like 4, and you're like, should they be here? Like, because 1,000, it's like, all right, this was a coordinated effort. Like, you know, they were invited, but if there's only like 4 clowns, you're like, all right, like. Who watched too much of the Joker?
Yeah, like is this a bad attempt to fit in? And like, are these like people that shouldn't be here? What is going on?
Do they have backpacks?
Yeah, like is that a ticking noise? That's not a funny joke.
Which one would you prefer? The 1,000 clowns?
Man.
Like, a large number or a suspiciously small number?
I'm going to say a suspiciously low number because on the offhand that I don't see any of them, I just have a normal day. And if I do see them, I now have something to focus on other than the giant fucking balloons that are in front of me that I just don't care about.
Doesn't that feel like it would be like the beginning to a Joker style movie or like the Dark Knight?
Yeah. Like
Macy's Day Parade's going on and like Heath Ledger's Joker is just frantically like moving around with a few other clown cohorts getting ready to rob Fort Knox or some shit.
Right. So like the scene that is in The Dark Knight, just a little different.
Yeah, basically the opening to Dark Knight, but the Macy's Day Parade is happening outside.
Yeah. I'm on board.
Yeah, why not? 3.5 million people go to that shit? It's so stupid.
There are 15. Wow. You did not say 15.
3.5.
Yeah. 3.5 million people are dumb.
Yeah.
Or children.
Although, what's even more perplexing is the fact that people go to New Year's.
Yes. Oh, fuck those people.
You're just asking for a bad day. You're asking for a terrible day.
You have to stand there for like 12 hours.
And you can't move. Like, you can't even leave to like go to the bathroom.
You're cold. If it rains, you're fucked.
Lucky to get food.
Yeah. Fuck. Idiots.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me he tried to impress my mom one year by going, and it was so fucking bad. It's like the early 90s. It like did not go well.
It's one of those things like my mom has always been like, do you guys want to go to this? And everyone's like, no.
And what's worse is like, what's even like the worst part is if you end up getting like quote unquote good spots, like by where the ball's going to drop, meaning that you're on TV, they tell you to like pep up the whole time. So not only are you cold, fucking miserable, have to piss and shit, and are starving, they always have people coming around telling you, hey, smile. Like every 5 minutes.
Man, if I'm being miserable, let me be miserable.
Sorry. So this isn't funny, but it's funny to me.
Okay, so this is going to be hilarious.
$19 million per year lost property caused by residential building fires each Thanksgiving.
That's funny.
And 5 deaths. Thanksgiving claims 5 lives every year at minimum.
That's what I'm thankful for.
Just in the fires.
People,
imagine if you factor in like transportation deaths and shit.
Imagine learning how to fucking fry a turkey, but being so fucking overconfident. You're like, no, I am going to risk the lives of everyone I love and everything I own just so I don't have to walk outside.
You've made it to the good place.
Still haven't seen that show.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I'm basically just waiting for it to finish so I can just binge watch it.
Okay, so I also have here, and we can close on this, what we are thankful for, and as a percent, what the most common and least common things, I guess statistically significant least common things were. Most common at 88%. Any wild guesses on this?
Health.
Family. Health was second, 77%. Personal freedom, friends, memories comes in here at number 5. I'm thankful for my memories. So all the old people like, I haven't gotten dementia yet.
The old guy in the wheelchair, like tilted off because he can't sit at the table because the wheelchair won't fit, and he's just crossed his arms staring at this bitch like, fuck you. I
once had to say hi to that guy at a holiday party, and he did not like me. Safety and security, opportunities, fun experiences, achievement, and Corwin, the lowest thing said, only 32% of people said this thing.
Color of their skin.
Oh, God, no.
What?
Wealth.
Wow. How many people?
32% of 1 in 3 Americans are like, thank God I have money.
Wow, so that is significantly larger than like the amount of people in the upper class. So
yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah. I'm not thankful for you this year, Josh. Just I want you to know that.
I definitely feel as though I know it. And I embrace it warmly.
Well, as long as we're on the same page.
Yeah, and I guess with that, we can wrap this bitch up, can't we?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from your friends at Juicing the Numbers. If you made it to the end of this, as we have degraded many people, we would like to extend our sincerest thanks to you.
Unless you think cranberries are the best meal at Thanksgiving.
In which case, please email me. I'm dying to know everything about you.
Yeah, for real. If you listen to this podcast, please email us just so that we know you exist.
Yeah, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. You can find our Twitter. You can reach out to us via that at juicingpod, and you can hit up the show notes for this episode and all previous episodes at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And until Monday, y'all have a good one.
Bye.